Hey everyone, welcome back to Planet Vulcan. Planet home to the species known as Vulcan. I've been on a bit of a Good Mythical Morning kick recently, and I've been watching a lot of their classic episodes. Yes. I'm now once again used to the sounds of Rhett's high school nicknames, the Wheel of Mythicality, and Link's gagging. However, one episode stood out to me this past month, that being 6 Most Bizarre Kids Shows. Not because anything of true significance happened, but instead because of one show they talked about. They ended the episode with a show that intrigued me more than anything else. A show that not only stood out to me as an interesting concept, but also reawakened a fear in me. And that show was Terrahawks. Terrahawks was a British TV series that ran from 1983 through 86, and spawned 3 seasons across its runtime. The series was very similar to the likes of Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica, but instead of featuring, well, actors, Terrahawks featured puppets! Wait a second. A kid show from the mid-1980s featuring puppets. If you saw my videos on the infamous Peppermint Park from last year, you'll know that creepy puppets have never served me well. And while the puppets from Terrahawks don't look nearly as bad as those from that show, these guys would still never pass off as a Muppet. The show was created by Jerry Anderson and Christopher Burr, with Anderson being known for other puppet series such as Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet. Anderson also refers to these puppets as a process called supermacronation, which was formerly called supermarionation. I have no idea what either of those are supposed to mean. So even though Peppermint Park gave me nightmares I'm still trying to recover from, Terrahawks didn't immediately horrify me, so I thought, why not see what the show has to offer? So I immediately bought the DVD box set off of eBay before realizing the entire series is free to watch on YouTube. At least I've got this cool and uncanny box set now. So considering how there's 39 episodes for me to get through, let's go ahead and start my deep dive into Terrahawks with Season 1, Episode 1, Expect the Unexpected. Part 1.
Terrahawks.
Jesus. Well, that jump scare woke me up. We may as well go over the opening while we're here. There were obviously many pastiches of the time, like the colors and visual effects, with several main characters being introduced with pictures that match the same level of awkwardness as my 7th grade yearbook picture. Wait, what? Why am I not surprised? After the intro, we start with a wide shot of Mars, where we learn that the series takes place in the year 2020. Boy, that aged well. We see an alien spaceship destroy an expedition base, before another ship descends onto the surface.
When is a house not a house? When it's the White House.
That is not the White House, but okay. We're then introduced to Dr. Tiger Neinstein and Lieutenant Hero, and I still don't know how to feel about these puppets. The two learn of the situation on Mars, and decide to head to their battle stations.
It looks like our first 10:30. Exactly. Have a good fright.
Did he just... Hero then flies out of a fake tree to Spacehawk, a space station that intercepts everything headed to Earth.
Hi, Erica. My, how you've grown.
We're also introduced to our first Zeroid, 101.
You've obviously been talking to them, just like I told you.
Yes, sir.
Zeroids are essentially the droids of this universe, and the Terrahawks have an entire army built up with them. As the Martians get closer to Earth, Neinstein is too preoccupied with the video game.
Doctor, I have a contact.
Hero tells Neinstein of an energy source headed straight to Earth, but they don't have any visual contact. As the energy source nears, 2 more ships are launched. We have Captain Kate Kestrel and Lieutenant Hawkeye in the Hawkling, as well as Neinstein and Captain Mary Falconer in the Battlehawk. Okay, these ship names are already starting to confuse me, so for the sake of preventing any more confusion, Battlehawk is the ship flown by Mary and Neinstein, Hawkling is the smaller ship flown by Kate and Hawkeye, and Spacehawk is the space station that Hero's stuck in for 90% of the show. Okay, hopefully that helps because I certainly needed it. Speaking of, Mary Falconer is Dr. Neinstein's partner, and apparently the mother to the Zeroid.
Good luck, Sergeant Major.
Thank you, Mom.
Also, this is Sergeant Major Zero, the most prominent Zeroid of the show and the leader of the army. Okay, that's all I really need to know about the characters so far. We'll learn more about all of them later. The Terrahawks discover that the energy source has landed in Thailand, and each of the ships head straight in its direction.
Looks like this is it, sir.
Exactly.
You mean exactly.
Exactly.
Oh great. Subtle racism in the first episode. Wonderful. After they land in Thailand, Einstein asks Zero to lead his troops to the energy source.
Take your squad to the site of the energy source and report.
Sir.
And use reasonable caution.
Caution? But once they find the energy source, they find a tiny, tiny spaceship. Zero asks for more troops against Mary's orders, and we hear the voice of the Martian for the first time.
13 is an unlucky number.
The Martian then states his ground by straight up murdering number 13. I thought this was a kid's show. We're not even one full episode in, and we've already had creepy puppets, subtle racism, and downright murder? Oh yeah, Peppermint Park had the same things. Huh. The rest of the Zeroids and Hawkwind unload on the spaceship, but after the ship disappears...
Keep calm, baby.
As the ship once again disappears, we're introduced to the first Martian, Zelda.
You should know better than to attack us.
What did they do to you? Zelda then explains that her people are actually androids that were enslaved by humans, and she is leading the charge to destroy all humans.
Your android.
Yes.
As they fly by Spacehawk, Einstein learns that Hero can hear everything that he says, and tells him to open fire on the spaceship.
You're coming with me to Mars, and then we'll take you apart.
I'm only one of 9 clones. Kill me, and there'll be another Einstein within 24 hours.
So, I guess Einstein can just die whenever he wants to and nothing will change. Which makes sense, I guess, considering that Einstein's face is on the DVD cover of every single volume.
101? 101. Open fire. What have I done?
What have the producers done?
Moving on to Expect the Unexpected, Part 2, the Martian spaceship is completely destroyed, and Einstein is teleported back.
Well, I had this theory, but I figured that if their ship was destroyed, their power to hold me would also be destroyed.
Sure, why not? After a memorial is held for number 13 and Einstein fills his video game again, he berates Zero for disobeying orders.
You are a machine. You are zero. You are absolute zero. Zilch.
Oh yeah, it's also pretty apparent that Einstein is kind of robot racist, and trust me, this isn't a one-time occurrence. Then all 4 Terrahawks celebrate with a party at the not White House.
Today, we had our first encounter with the new Martians.
Actually, sir, his champagne is gone. And my head is spinning.
But their party is interrupted by Hero, who alerts them that Zelda's back from the dead.
When I lost my power to control matter, you were automatically returned to Earth, and I to Mars.
Sure, why not? Zelda states that she's returning in peace, so the Terrahawks stupidly allow her to come back to Earth, when in reality she has something more sinister planned. The Terrahawks land in the exact same area as the last episode, and deploy the battle tank. Ooh, rough landing. Zelda then lands on Earth, and unleashes all of her power. She made a road? After Einstein thanks Zelda and allows her to leave, he decides to joyride in a self-driving car which he had on his ship for some reason. Zero is ordered to stay behind as Mary and Einstein drive his car Hudson over the new road.
There appears to be an obstruction ahead, sir.
Oh no. The ghosts of Einstein's gambling addiction have come back to haunt him! These dice robots are essentially Zelda's version of the Zeroids, who box them in with a force field.
Run for it.
We reckon we can pull you out through the top of the force field.
Nope. Well, time to grab the shovels. Zero decides to disobey orders once again, goes for a round of bowling, and destroys the impenetrable force field.
Just fantastic!
Once everyone returns to home base, Einstein speaks with Zero.
You started to think for yourself. When are you going to realize that you were made and programmed by a superior being?
Zero just saved you, your wife, and your self-driving car's lives. And you're still mad at him? Einstein then comes to his senses, and actually thanks Zero in the most unenthusiastic way.
Thanks, Zero.
Thanks, Zero. Thanks, Zero.
Someone's easy to please. We then get one final scene with Zelda unfreezing some kind of swamp monster before we fade to black. And that brings an end to Expect the Unexpected Part 2. There's barely any connection here minus the cliffhanger. Well, since we still have a lot more to cover in this series, let's go ahead and move on to Episode 3, Thunder Roar. Wait a second. That's Episode 4. What the hell? Okay, so warning to those who want to watch the series on YouTube, Episodes 3 and 4 switched for some reason, and the episode is thrown on disc 4 instead of 1 on the DVDs. I don't know how they managed to fuck that up twice, but they found a way. Moving to the actual third episode, we start things off on Mars where we're introduced to Zelda's son, Youngstar. Get it? Youngster? Youngstar? Hehehehe.
Sram, Lord of Fairy, wishes to see you.
Is he drowning in his own spit? We're then introduced to the monster from the last episode, named SRAM. SRAM agrees to help with Zelda's bidding and is sent to Earth. SRAM's spaceship is then intercepted by Spacehawk, but before Hero can take it down, something peculiar happens. No! Not the plants! Kate and Hawkeye are then sent to attack the ship. However, SRAM's roar is powerful enough to throw the entire ship off course. However, Kate and Hawkeye regain control and blast SRAM's ship, causing him to crash in a desert. But after a search from both the tank and Kate, SRAM is nowhere to be seen. Einstein investigates the crash himself and discovers a strange liquid. The battle tank eventually finds SRAM inside of a cave, and after he stops the tank with a roar, he finally speaks up.
Call your dogs off, Einstein.
Well, for a hideous swamp monster, he's got a pretty formal dialect. After witnessing the entire mountain fall, Einstein decides to meet SRAM in the cave.
Did Zelda send you? Zelda leads the fight for survival. Survival of all that's not human. I am dying, but you will die with me.
And just like that, SRAM is dead? You introduce a new character with actual good and fearful character design, and you kill him in the next episode? Einstein somehow survives the cave collapse, but SRAM's blood infects the air around him and slowly starts to poison him. Convenient. The machine won't be able to save Einstein in time, so Zero comes to the rescue.
Geronimo!
Okay, now that Zero has saved Einstein 2 episodes in a row, how do you think Einstein talks to him afterward?
To be courageous, first you've got to be afraid. It's a very human attribute.
I'm pleased to say I'm now scared. Does it mean I'm now brave?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, I get it. You're only one of 9 clones. But Zero has been more heroic than you've been in this entire show so far. And you still won't drop this robot shit? Okay, before I have a brain aneurysm, let's just move on to episode 4. Gold. It's called Gold. The episode begins with Hero detecting a meteor headed straight for Earth.
The meteorites entered Earth's atmosphere.
Is it burning up?
What is going on with Hero's glasses?
How are the glasses, Lieutenant?
Working perfectly.
No, they ain't. Things really become dire as the meteor doesn't burn up, and is headed toward New York.
This is a 1040.
Kate and Hawkeye fire at the meteor, and send it in the direction of a desert. Einstein then sends Zero and other Zeroids to investigate the crater, where they make quite the discovery.
I found the human's god.
In our society, he isn't wrong. We find out the gold is a trap from Zelda, but Zero decides to hide the gold to surprise the Terrahawks. Once everyone returns to home base, Zero reveals the object.
My God!
On behalf of the Zeroids, may I present you with your god.
Zeroids have limited intelligence, Mary. He meant gold.
God, this dude sucks. But as Einstein closely inspects the gold, he realizes...
It's a bomb!
Einstein then drives far away from home base with Hudson, and places the bomb on a conveniently placed log.
I can't move my hand! What is it, Tim?
Some kind of force field attacking your nervous system.
How can a force field attack your nervous system?
Go! That's an order!
Wait a minute. Einstein's dead? No! Oh yeah, he's only one of 9 clones. I I forgot about that. We're also briefly, and I mean briefly, introduced to Zelda's sister, Sistar. Get it? Sister? Zelda then sends a second meteor, this time filled with 100 of her soldiers. Mary decides to monitor the meteor instead of destroying it, but soon enough, the new Einstein is up and running.
Tell Hawkwing to open fire.
Is that you, Tiger?
Get that stupid thing off your head, Zero.
Once Hawkwing fires at the meteor, it's revealed that it's actually a spaceship. But with one final round of missiles, the spaceship is destroyed.
Once more, your plan has failed, Mother.
Youngstar is a bitch. And the episode ends with Zero almost dying from his circuit board not functioning. We then move on to episode 5, and it's honestly one of my favorites of the first season. The episode begins with a telecast between the leader of NASA and a whistleblower named Mark Darrell. Sounds like a Ricky Bobby reject name to me, but okay. We learned that NASA has been covering up everything regarding the Terrahawks, which I find hard to believe considering they just prevented a meteor from hitting New York City. Darrell calls NASA out for this, and has even narrowed down the name of the organization.
I believe the name of the organization is Terrahawks.
Hero intercepts the presence of a spaceship entering Earth's atmosphere, but due to a space freighter being in the area, Einstein decides not to fire at it. We then cut to Mark Darrell's house, where something strange seems to occur.
What you need, Darrell, old sport, is a drink. Come out, I know you're there.
Put the gun down.
Zelda and Youngstar then commit home invasion and kidnap Darrell. Mary and Einstein then argue about something that didn't happen on screen, before they head to the freighter's overlander to gather supplies. We're then told that Darrell has agreed to help Zelda in some way, and may have been hypnotized? The Terrahawks prepare to intercept the overlander, before Cube stops it in its tracks.
It stopped. Wait, it's moving again.
Darrell then drives directly towards the Terrahawks, and as they realize what's happening, Mary and Einstein do absolutely nothing as Darrell completely misses. To be fair, it probably is the first time he's ever driven a giant tank. As the Terrahawks deploy Battle Tank, Darrell goes for a second hit, but the ship just barely floats out of harm's way. Einstein then destroys the cube and takes Darrell into custody.
I'm telling you the truth, I swear it. All I wanted was a story.
I don't buy it, Darrell.
Why do you assume everything he says is a lie?
What?
What about fair play? What about justice?
He tried to ram us. In my book, that's attempted murder.
Then he should stand trial.
Mark Darrell, the guy who spilled the dirt on you guys, tried to murder you and everyone else aboard the ship. And all you care about is the judiciary system? Mary then checks on Mark in his cell. What the hell? He's got super strength now? Mark makes his way to a room conveniently filled with explosives, and as Mary and Einstein follow him in, they encounter him as he's about to explode the entire base.
Move back, Darrell.
I'm trying to. I seem to be held in some sort of force field.
Alright, well, in this universe, force fields can magically control people's nervous systems, apparently.
Take a look at him, Mary.
I killed him.
Take a look.
Oh. Wait a minute, what? Mark Darrell was a robot. So does that mean that he was a dummy set up by Zelda and he's still with her, or was he a robot all along? What? I have so many questions, but they must answer everything here, right? Nope. The episode just ends, and Mark Darrell never appears again. Great storytelling! An early space probe named Alpha is found hurling towards Earth, and after no signs of life are found, Einstein meets with Colonel Johnson to decide on what to do.
Why can't NASA handle it? Alpha was powered by a Mark 24 nuclear rocket. If that probe re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, she'll burn up, explode, and contaminate the atmosphere.
But it turns out that Zelda sent the probe back herself in order to find the exact location of the Terrahawks base. Einstein and Zero then head to Spacehawk themselves, and we bear witness to a Zeroid power struggle.
I'm relieving you of your post.
Over my burned out circuits you are.
The Zeroids then launch into a ship that catches the probe, but as Zero himself enters through a conveniently placed hole, he finds something odd.
Strange. Very strange.
As the other Zeroids return to Spacehawk, Zero stays behind to investigate the powder. But when Einstein orders him to return, he loses communication.
He hears you no longer. Your precious probe has been modified. It is now a gravity-triggered bomb.
But thanks to a random bump as the probe enters the atmosphere, Zero notices all the cubes and destroys them immediately. Kate and Hawkeye then knock the probe back into space, and everything's resolved.
Have you seen Sergeant Major around anywhere? I haven't seen him since you came down to Earth.
Zero, location report.
I'm in the Alpha probe, sir.
Alright, well, you'd expect Einstein to go back into space to save Zero, right? Nope, they make him float all the way back to Earth. What a wonderful father. We start episode 7 with a new ship firing directly at Spacehawk, and as Hero deflects the attacks, we meet Zelda's new ally. Who the hell is this guy? This character is named Tamura, and is a space samurai who's trying to bring peace between Zelda and the Terrahawks.
And each attack brings the destruction of the despicable Terrahawks.
That is not my purpose.
And unsurprisingly, Zelda is using Tamura to try and corner Einstein.
When the time is ripe, we destroy the Terrahawks.
Tamura approaches Spacehawk and asks to meet Einstein in peace.
I mean you no harm. I am an emissary of peace.
Its mission is peaceful. The commander wishes to meet you.
After Einstein arrives at Spacehawk and another Zeroid power struggle occurs, Einstein welcomes Tamura onto the ship.
Before sides are taken and battles joined, I urge negotiation.
I'll meet Zelda, but on my terms.
Everyone then meets in the cave of an asteroid, as Einstein and Zelda come face to face.
Ah, Dr. Einstein, you may kiss my hand.
I'd sooner stick my head in a barrel of rattlesnakes.
Damn. Good comeback. Each party then states their claims, with Einstein's argument boiling down to, we're not perfect, but we'll try. Tamura is unsure of who's truly right, which leads to an ambush from the cubes.
Look out!
They exploded because a sword was pointed at them. Tamura lets Einstein and Hero leave, but as he decides to meditate right next to the person who just tried to kill him, Zelda steals control of his ship and shoots missiles toward the Terrahawks.
There must be hundreds!
Einstein then harnesses his epic gamer skills and saves the day by destroying all of Zelda's missiles.
Dr. Einstein is safe.
Once Einstein and Zero return home, Einstein ignores Mary and immediately heads to his game.
Well,
Space, fire, and damnation.
And he still sucks. Back to normal, I guess. In the next episode, we're taken back to Zelda's lab, where she unleashes her newest monster.
What is it? No.
This thing is a Sporilla. A space gorilla. As the Sporilla attempts to kill Youngstar, Zelda gains control of it through the power of a remote.
With this device, I have tamed the untamable.
Zelda then infiltrates a base on the moon Callisto without any security whatsoever, shoots one thing, and everything shuts down. After being alerted by Hero, Einstein, Kate, and Zero head to the Callisto station. They also go with a Zeroid named 5-5, who's the equivalent of Poochie from The Simpsons.
When you smile, I like your style.
Once they enter the station, Zero and 5-5 investigate the premises, and come across some peculiar footprints.
Who do you reckon made those?
I don't know who, but it ain't no kangaroo.
I really hope 5-5 gets eaten by the Sporilla. Once Einstein and Kate see the prints, Einstein orders the Zeroids to continue searching.
I think it's a Sporilla. They're utterly ferocious, incredibly strong, and virtually indestructible.
Why didn't you want to talk about this in front of Zero?
One of their favorite items of diet happens to be small metallic objects.
Wow. You're sending two of your most vital soldiers to search for a monster that will most definitely eat both of them, and you won't even tell them of the dangers? They continue to search as they find the docking bay has been destroyed, trapping everyone inside. The two eventually encounter the Sporilla, and after hiding in the main room with Kate and Einstein, it begins to try to break in. As Zelda continues to talk, Einstein finds her speaker inside of a bust.
Nice talking to you, Zelda.
The Sporilla eventually breaks into the room, but as everyone attacks it, they realize that it doesn't mean any harm. It can talk?
I think he's trying to thank us.
The Sporilla thanks the Terrahawks and agrees to help them leave.
I'm involved in your plan, sir.
You certainly are, Zero, but you're gonna have to increase your mass and use your head.
Use my head. Very funny.
Once the doors are reopened, the Terrahawks leave without repairing the station and leave the Sporilla stranded. What's Madeday? Or Madeday? I don't know, let's just get into the episode.
You have beaten me, Doctor.
What is going on?
No more chances, Zelda. The Earth will not be safe until you are gone.
Did I miss an episode or something?
The game is over, Zelda, and so are you.
Bravo, Moid! Bravo!
Oh. I guess they've got a ditto. We learned that this character is actually named Moid, or Master of Infinite Disguise. He can do a perfect impression of anyone, and is the main component of Zelda's new scheme. Back on Earth, Hero is headed back up to Spacehawk, but is chased by another ship. This ship is called a Zeef, or Zelda Earth Atmosphere Fighter. They really wanted to hammer that acronym in. The Zeef fires at Hero, and although he kind of lands safely in a snowy region, the Zeef disappears into the sky. Hero then hides in a conveniently nearby cave, and is then fooled by Moid.
Dr. Neinstein?
Yes, it's me.
Moid then gives Hero a lethal injection that kills him on the spot! No, that would cause too much permanence for this show. It just knocks him out for a period. The actual Neinstein and Kate rescue Hero from the cave, and once they all return, we learn it's Zero's birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Zero.
You weren't born, you were made.
Shut up, Neinstein, it's his birthday! But soon enough, Hero heals and is ready to get back to work.
I want to get back to Spacehawk.
All right, Hero. Give my regards to those plants of yours.
Plants?
Something's a little off. Once Hero boards Spacehawk, he makes 101 assume all control of the ship, and only allows him to follow his orders.
And obey only your voice?
Exactly.
Sir, you said it.
Said what?
Exactly.
Oh boy. Something must really be up if Hero isn't using his racially stereotypical dialect. Zero talks with Mary about his birthday, and she says,
Happy Madeday.
Ooh.
Please. Zelda then sends her entire fleet to attack Earth, and once 101 senses their approach, Hero refuses to fire at them.
But sir!
Don't tell me what to do.
Neinstein then makes a direct order to 101, but he can't find a way to disobey Hero. But after a triumphant speech from the Madeday, machine, 101 breaks free of Hero's command and opens fire on Zelda's army.
Retreat! Retreat!
Neinstein and Zelda then speak, and we learn that the real Hero is being held in a cave. The two then agree to swap Hero for Moid, as Moid reveals himself.
I wear many faces, but have none of my own.
One can feel a certain sorrow, even for an enemy.
Oh, wow. That was the most despondent and chilling ending to any episode thus far. Wow. I actually feel excited for the next episode. I mean, they've got to follow up on this amazing ending, right? Moid doesn't appear again for the rest of the season. Welp. Can't be too surprised. We start this episode off with a scout mission in the desert. Oh look! Zero has a cool hat. Everything I enjoy in this show dies immediately. Zero then gets run over by the battle tank, which then destroys the cubes. We then cut to a random yokel who has the worst puppet design in the show so far, who's on the phone with the county sheriff.
I could have sweared I heard thunder. Maybe I'll go out in the desert and take a look.
We then meet 21, a Zeroid with a stutter.
He sounds.
But soon enough, Neinstein storms in.
You reported 6 cubes out in that desert. We can account for 5.
As the Terrahawks return to the desert to find the 6th cube, we find that Oaky stole the cube himself. Zelda then realizes the cube is still alive, and seems to hypnotize Sam.
And you will obey.
I will obey.
For the sake of plot convenience, Hero intercepts Zelda's voice from the cube, and narrows the location to a small town near the desert. Neinstein and Mary then head into the town with Hudson, who manages to fool 2 police officers by simply changing color.
In 20 years, I've never seen one. Now we got 2 Royce's Rolls in Badwater County.
Neinstein and Mary then meet with the sheriff, and ask about the missing cube.
You just might be in luck. A man called in to say he'd found some strange gizwas out in the desert.
Once they make it to Oaky's Corral, Neinstein and Zelda agree to have a duel. But after several tricks employed by Zelda, Zero comes in with the save.
Get also!
Thanks, Zero.
Boy, I sure hope that half-assed thank you was worth getting penetrated. Everyone then drives out of the county, the sheriff dies of too many Rolls-Royce reports, and Sam Oaky is never heard from again. What a wonderful ending.
Prepare to face the ugliest monster of them all!
Gaping chasms, it's grotesque!
Really? This space bear is named Yuri, and is sent to Earth by Zelda. But once Hero intercepts the ship and is ready to fire, 101 stops him.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I'm picking up a sound from inside the capsule.
Let me hear it.
They let Yuri on board Spacehawk and is taken back down to Earth. Although everyone else is infatuated by Yuri, Einstein isn't amused.
Will someone shut it up?
It's also here where we get Kate's first singing number.
I look into your eyes, and my heart begins to race.
Einstein reveals that an institute will take Yuri off their hands, and has Hawkeye take Hudson to take Yuri there. Wow. I guess Einstein's allowing anyone to drive his prized car whenever they feel like it. But as they begin to leave, Yuri uses his laser vision.
I seem to...
As Hudson is taken into surgery with racially stereotypical doctors, Yuri is put behind bars with Zero and 5-5 in charge of watching him. While Einstein prepares to depart for a supply chain, he hears of the Yuri situation and realizes what's really happening.
Telekinesis.
The ability to bend metallic objects.
Thanks for the conveniently timed explanation, Zelda. Zero then enlists the entire Zeroed army to find Yuri, and soon enough, they find him cornered.
He's done it to me again!
There's 4 of you! And all of you did nothing? Yuri then makes it to the docking bay, and as Einstein is taking off, he uses his telekinesis on the Battlehawk. Then everyone remembers that Yuri liked Kate's music, so Kate gets on the piano and broadcasts through the entire base.
Break!
Jesus, that's the most violent this show's gotten so far. Yuri is then sent back to the return address, and everyone lived happily ever after. Surprised the dumpster didn't kill Yuri on the spot. The episode starts off with Youngstar actually doing something for once, and has created a new device for the cubes.
Watch and be impressed.
What do Zelda's minions have against mountains? As a space transporter called AS4 heads to Earth, several cubes enter the ship. How did no one notice that the door exploded? Back on Earth, as Mary and Einstein are having tea outside, several Zeroids try to relay information to them.
Go ahead, 6-6.
It's a canny situation. Out of my own head.
I hate that I'm getting numb to this. Between 6-6's Scottish accent and 21's stuttering, Einstein has had enough.
That's it. I want all Zeroids revoiced. Standardized.
After committing flat-out racism instead of the standard casual racism, Einstein is alerted of the AS4 infiltration, and decides to have Kate and Hawkeye destroy it. As the AS4 falls to the ground, the cubes all retreat from the ship and land in a forest. Zero then gives the voice orders, and everyone is pissed at Einstein.
It's created a lot of problems. What has? Well,
Let him find out for himself.
get me Johnson at NASA.
Yes, sir.
Zero?
No, sir. Zeroid 80.
After calling Colonel Johnson, Einstein believes there could still be trouble, and decides to scout the area of the crash. To get construction workers out of the area, Einstein sends Kate and Hudson to distract the workers. It's also here where we learn that Kate is not only a captain for the Terrahawks, but is also a famous singer. Kate agrees to play a concert for all the workers, allowing the Terrahawks to explore without blowing their cover. The battle tank is deployed, but after the cubes create a giant gun by forming a T-pose, they unload on and nearly destroy it.
They're opening up on the dam, sir.
Those construction workers are going to be pissed. Hawkeye then appears with a f***ing bazooka all of a sudden, and destroys all the cubes with one shot.
You'd better watch your tongue, lad, while you can roll off, mate.
Shut up, all of you. For the sake of everyone's sanity, I am rescinding the revoice order.
Well, at least he's willing to admit when he's wrong. And the episode ends with one final encore from Kate. Well, this has taken a lot more time than I was expecting, but don't feel too tired out because we only have one more episode in Season 1. SRAM? He's not dead? Yes. SRAM is back after he died in episode 3. Anyway, instead of having SRAM fly to Earth, Zelda uses her mind powers to transport him to Earth. Alright, now that SRAM is on Earth, if you hated seeing Zelda's face like everyone else, she doesn't appear again for the rest of the season. It's just for one episode, but still a win in my book. Going back to the Terrahawks base, Kate is getting ready to record some music, but is having second thoughts.
It's this whole recording star bit. Yes, I read the article. Kate Kestrel. Unreliable, bitchy.
Did Mary just say what I think she just said? After getting a pep talk from Mary, Kate decides to go through and record.
The Overlander's due today, and it's on remote control, so it'll be bang on time.
It's definitely going to get hijacked again. And what do you know, SRAM shows up and causes a landslide that stops the Overlander. Meanwhile, Kate's about to show up to the recording studio.
Right, okay, now what's happening, okay? You know, this Kate Kestrel, she's late. You know, again, yeah?
I have now found my new least favorite character. Oh my god! SRAM stole the Overlander? After surveying the Overlander situation, the Terrahawks realize they need Kate again, who gets up and leaves without any question. We learn SRAM is headed toward a huge roll depository, and that the Terrahawks can only stop him by destroying a bridge.
What we need is a length of pipe.
That should not be too difficult to find.
Once the Zeroids find a pipe, they all one by one fire themselves at the bridge, causing it to collapse with SRAM driving over it.
Zero, can you see the driver?
Oh, I can see him all right, sir.
Description?
He's...
Wait, what?
We should have learned that by now. Zelda reclaims her own.
So Zelda's minions can just die now, and they can still come back and act like nothing ever happened to them? Kate finishes recording her song, she and Hudson drive away, roll credits. And that was season 1 of Terrahawks. I need a shower. However, for all that I made fun of the show for so far, I'm still enjoying it a decent amount. I mean, sure, the voice acting was pretty cut and dry, locations were overused, and well, you know. But I still felt excited to watch every episode to see what they did next. Well, as much as I'd like to talk more about this season, we still have 2 more seasons to haul our asses through, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin season 2. No.
If it isn't my favorite YouTube creator to harass, Muted7017, how you been?
What do you want now?
I see you're covering another big series again. Just so you know, I'll say you're welcome. I'm gonna have to force you to kind of stop it at the 30-minute mark. We good? We good with that?
Pretty sure you're a little too late for that.
Really? Let me... Anyways, you're gonna have to split this video up again. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Bye.
Nice to see you too.